Welcome to the most trending channel. Today we gonna list 10 most disappointing games of 2021. 2021 has been a heck of a ride so far when it comes to video game releases. Following the release of the latest PlayStation and Xbox consoles, there has been a relative lack of next-gen only titles, save for a handful. Besides that, we have had some wonderful multi-platform and exclusive titles release. Unfortunately, we have also had a handful of disappointing titles thus far. Let us take a closer look. Number 1, Edge of Eternity. The game isn't all bad, however, as its world building, characters, and narrative ultimately were among the best parts of the game. However, most other aspects hold the experience down. In our review, we conclude that the graphics, gameplay, and especially the camera angles drag it down. Number 2, Warhammer 40,000 Space Wolf. Despite a strong IP backing, Space Wolf ultimately disappoints as a third-person tactical shooter with poor visuals, controls, and story. In our review, we noted that with so little effort put into making Space Wolf feel like it actually belongs anywhere near the new systems, it's hard not to be anything but disappointed and cynical about this release. Number 3, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. This 4-player cooperative game set in the Forgotten Realms had a lot to live up to but ultimately fell short. Specifically, poor design choices, a broken single-player experience, brain-dead AI, and a plethora of bugs hurt the game. Number 4, Tasomachi Behind the Twilight. The game was ultimately a disappointment. The game's vibrant visuals did stand out, though different areas looking very similar was a bummer. Where the game disappointed though was the general gameplay loop, and Tasomachi is a simplistic collect-a-thon without a clear motivator to drive the player forward. Number 5, Marvel's Avengers. My biggest gripe with it was the long load times associated with the game. Despite much improved load times and performance, Marvel's Avengers still disappointed for the same reasons, primarily a lack of content that was not repetitive. Our review praised the performance of the game, but noted that none of that can overcome the uninspired level design and lack of enemy variety. Number 6, Tennis World Tour 2. The game looks good, but poor AI, controls, and gameplay mechanics hold the game back. It is definitely interesting given that tennis games and mechanics should remain unchanged. In our review, we conclude that Tennis World Tour 2 Complete Edition will make even the most die-hard tennis fanatic want to smash the racket and head to the dressing room. Number 7, Balan Wonderworld. Balan Wonderland is easily reminiscent of the aforementioned titles, though the dated formula ultimately crept up, especially with a lack of challenge and poor movement. In our review, we conclude that although the game has a lot of charm, it does little to stand out amongst the crowd, and due to this, it can be rightfully overlooked. Number 8, R.B.I. Baseball 21. I can safely say the R.B.I. Baseball is among the most disappointing. Aside from a decent pitching experience, R.B.I. Baseball 21's poor graphics and gameplay depth make it seem like there's only one baseball game on the market this year. Number 9, Destruction AllStars. It was originally slated to be a launch title for the PlayStation 5, even having one of the increased prices along with it. Destruction AllStars is still a disappointment. While initially supposed to be a launch title, our review concludes that it'll likely be forgotten in the eventual ocean of other PS5 exclusives that release down the road. Number 10, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. After disappearing for years, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game Complete Edition has returned via Ubisoft. This dated title is victim to some older issues such as slow character movement, poor hit detection, and more. At least the game looks good though. Perhaps best left in our memories, our review described Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game Complete Edition, as a 10-year-old game that nobody asked for. What do you guys think? Which game disappointed you? Let me know in the comments section.